is witnessing riots. Residential buildings are being set ablaze, shopping malls are being looted, highways are blocked, and armed protesters are marching on the streets. The situation is volatile. The unrest, the worst in many years. At least 6 people have died, dozens have been injured, more than 200 have been put behind bars, and reports indicate that these figures are only set to worsen. So what is going on? I'll start with the beginning. The reason behind the unrest, what caused it? The conviction of Jacob Zuma, the former president of South Africa. On the 29th of June, Zuma was sentenced to 15 months in prison. What for? Because he defied an inquiry into corruption allegations during his tenure as president. So South Africa's constitutional court, which is the most powerful court in the country, declared Zuma guilty and sent him to jail on charges of contempt. With this conviction, Zuma became the first South African president to go to jail. The sentence was hailed as a victory for the rule of law in the country, but it ended up turning law and order upside down. Let me show you some images. These are Zuma supporters, armed with sticks and shields, protesting against the court order. They've taken to the streets of almost every major city in South Africa, looting, ransacking, and burning everything on their way. On Saturday, they blocked one of South Africa's biggest highways by setting fire to several trucks and vehicles. The highway burned the entire night, leaving thousands stranded for several hours. The highway is located in the KwaZulu-Natal province, which happens to be Jacob Zuma's stronghold. Several cities in this province have now been gripped by unrest, like Durban, the third most populous city in South Africa. It's witnessing unprecedented violence. Zuma supporters are burning tires, they're looting stores and clashing with the police. At least 37 people have been arrested.
And now to Cuba, where thousands marched across several cities yesterday in some of the biggest anti-government demonstrations on the island nation in decades. People took to the streets protesting food shortages and high prices as the country suffers through a crippling economic crisis, exacerbated by the pandemic. So Manuel Borges is in Miami, where demonstrators also came out this weekend in a show of solidarity with Cuban protesters. Manny, good morning. What's going on?
Yeah, good morning to you. We're standing outside of Versailles restaurant. This is typically the epicenter of demonstrations and rallies here in Miami's Little Havana neighborhood, and last night was no different. Thousands came out here to support those protesters in Cuba, and while the demonstrations here may be commonplace, what's happening in Cuba is not only rare, but historic.
Thousands of protesters gathered in communities around Havana and across the island nation, shouting freedom and we are not afraid. Although protests began peacefully, they soon took a more violent turn as police and special forces moved in later on to break up the demonstrations. President Miguel Diaz-Canel himself made an appearance at one protest and spoke with some of the citizens who confronted him. Demonstrators here say they are fed up by food shortages, rising prices, collapsing infrastructure, and the government's response to a rising number of COVID-19 infections. On Saturday, Cuba recorded nearly 7.
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Waharakakadash. The belongs to elders, those that are in the authority of the Lord still. Salutations to you elect, the salvation that's coming to the house of David. And the Lord said, when you do good, know to who you do good to. You see, help the godly, help not the sinner, but help the godly. And that's what we're doing. We're helping the warriors out there, those that are holy, let them be holy still. But all you filthy, corrupt men, just like this corrupt government, this corrupt world is coming down. And seeing what's going on with all these governments and kingdoms and countries and their kings and presidents, it's absolute chaotic and confusing, man. Not just here in the States with Biden, and he's losing his grip on things and he can barely even form a sentence, but it's just beautiful, man. See, the Lord, he said the seas and waves would be roaring and the nations in perplexity, so they're perplexed. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know what's going on. They don't really have a solution. They don't know what to heal and save and fix this whole mess that's happened in the world. And same thing with a lot of guys in this truth. They don't know what to do, because the Lord, he only wants to heal a few. And the rest out there, the many, those that are for the crowds and for the thousands and all the likes and subscribers and all that shit, they're sick, man. They're infecting others. You see, they're infecting others. That's why we always say there's a plague spreading. There's a disease spreading. Ain't no COVID bullshit, man. It's a lack of faith. It's having not trust, having not love. That's the plague that's spreading, being afraid of man. And that's why it got all these hypocrites afraid right now, because they're surprised. They never thought that this day would come, the day of the real being raised up, the last being first. Those that were excommunicated, X'd out, and left for dead, thought to be nothing, are actually something, man. You see? But you guys that claim to be something in this world, in the eyes of the Lord, you are nothing. And that's why a lot of your topics you're bringing out is nothing, man. It holds no weight. It holds no weight. And the Lord ain't listening to that. The proud, he knows, are far off. So, Lord, you might be saying how was shy and doing these videos, but you're not bringing it out how the Lord wants you to bring it out. Being timid, being quiet, not bringing out this word with a full force and the exertion, right, and the strength and the power. And the Lord's like, huh? Did I just say my name? What's going on? You see, with us, he's hearing us daily, man. And what we're doing is, Lord, he's hearing us every day. And the prayer of a poor man, it pierces the clouds, and he will not be comforted until the Lord brings righteous judgment. And that's what the Lord is doing. Psalm 76 and verse 9. When God arose to judgment to save all the meek of the earth, Salah. So that's the Lord is saving, the meek, the lowly. That's who the Lord is honored of, not the honors of men. You see, Yahushua in John 5:42 run about, but the Lord said he receives not honor from men. And just like us, we don't receive no honors from men. No one honors us. No one speaks well and loves us and praises us. Because why? We are the true servants of the Lord. When we're not no servants of men. You see, but are you proud out there? You're not going to be saved by the Lord. The Lord's going to destroy you, as he already is. He's taking the spirit from you. A lot of you guys, man, a lot of elders, a lot of camp heads in all these camps and all these churches. And there's only a few men left, as the scripture saith. Out of our bellies flowing rivers living water. And the Spirit saith unto, right, come and drink freely. You see? Come and drink and eat without money. But a lot of guys, all they do this truth for is for fucking filthy lucre. And if guys didn't pay tithes and give money to dudes, then guess what? They wouldn't even acknowledge you, bro. They don't fucking care about you. And this is the problem with our nation, is that they don't know what true love is. All they've known from their birth, from their youth up in this wicked demonic world, is just hate. It's fake love. It's fake friends. So they have this false ideology of, oh, the fake friends are my real friends. Oh, just because they're with me when I'm up, they're my real friends. But guess what happens when you're down and out? Guess what? They're out too. You see, Psalm 76 and 11. Vow and pray and pay unto the Lord your God. Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. And what's going on in Cuba, what's going on in South Africa, sedition amongst men. They should not regard kings nor princes. You have these presidents getting judged. You have that Haiti president getting assassinated. That's all a sign of what? The judgment has been sent forth. And now the end is here. And it's only going to rise. All these things that's happening, it's rising. That's why you have them protests in Miami for Cuba. So the whole world is in an unrest. And the wicked, this world's governed and ruled by the wicked. And as a ruler, so are the people under him. So this whole world is in an unrest. They can't sleep right. They're not at peace with themselves. So that's what's happening with this world. Even guys in truth, they're not at peace with the Lord. They're actually at war with the Lord. They're at war against the Spirit. That's why the Lord said, as your fathers do, Stephen said, so do you. You rebel against the Lord and his prophets, meaning you go to war against them. You see? And that's a fight that you guys will not win or prosper or benefit from. Psalm 76 and 12. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. So all these spirit of princes, right? The princes that crucified our Lord, their spirits being cut off, you see. And the way you bring presence to the Lord, you don't bring him money, you don't bring him carnal things of the flesh and food and stuff like that. What you bring to him is the offerings of your mouth and your time and your energy and your undivided attention. So you'll know what's going on. He can sup with you, he can deal with you. Hebrews 13:13, let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, not with the camp. See, guys don't read the scriptures anymore, and that's why there's such a big divide between the light and darkness. Those are still in Yahushua, and those that just aren't. They're just talking it, man. It says bearing his reproach, because when Yahushua, when he was getting crucified, and he had to bear his cross to into the mount to get crucified to death. He wasn't in no camp, bro. He wasn't in the church. He wasn't in the synagogue. That was the synagogue of Satan, man. All them chief priests, all them elders and Pharisees, that was the synagogue of Satan. They were adverse to the Spirit of the Lord. They were resisting the Spirit. They were hating that which was good. They were turning things upside down, saying that Yahushua was blaspheming, when really they were. And the same thing's happening today. Hebrews 13:14, for here we no continuing city, but we seek one to come, right? And this carnal Jerusalem, this physical Jerusalem of our people that rule our people in wickedness and cause them to err, the leaders that rule over our people, right? This is not a continuing city. This is not going to go on forever. That they join hand in hand with Esau, with Herod, and they say, oh, we have one king in the Caesars, this world and money and shit. It's not forever, and it's not going to continue forever. You see, but that's why the Lord said also in Hebrews, let brotherly love continue. And New Jerusalem that comes from above, you see, because that's how we're going to come and take the kingdom and take this world. That's going to be the continuing everlasting city, New Jerusalem. You see, and in New Jerusalem is going to be what? The new, they're going to have the new song, and they're going to have, this is going to be when the Lord makes all things new. Old things going to pass away. And a lot of guys, you waxed old here, man. Matter of fact, that's one of the things the Lord really hates, man. All right, Ecclesiastes 25:2 says, 3 sorts of men my soul hateth. And David said in Psalms, when we're saying the same, see, the house of David is going to be saying the same things. The men of that lineage, of that elk, of that tabernacle. We gonna hate what the Lord hates. With a perfect hatred, we gonna count them our enemies. He says, 3 sorts of men my soul hateth, and I am greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that doteth. And that's what we see happening. These men are running rampant in this time right now. And that word doteth means silly. And a lot of guys, they're taking the Lord and his men and the Spirit and what we're saying for a joke, casting his words behind their back. But the Lord, he's casting you out of his presence. And that's why it's dark in your tabernacle, man. Your candles are going out. Your light's going out. Hebrews 13:15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to power continually, non-stop, without ceasing, giving Lord no rest, till he establish Jerusalem a praise on the earth. Not having the praises of men, but having the praises of Yahweh and Yahushua. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. And this is the first fruits. The last shall be first. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So these are the men, right? The elect that are going to be giving this to the Lord, vowing, making a promise, and keeping their promise to the Lord. Unlike a lot of you other guys out there that claim to be great, that claim to have the home of the truth, that claim to have the 100% truth. You see? But inside of you, there is no truth. It's just a broken vessel, not holding any knowledge, not holding any oil. And then here it is, these foolish virgins, right? They're asking us, give us of your oil. Ours is running out. See, why would we give a broken vessel some of our oil when it's just going to waste? It's not going to be enough for the both of us, you see? So we're in the time now, right, brothers? You can't save those that are destroyed. Neither can you oppress the men that are going to get the victory. You see, that word oppress goes to persecuting. You see, and who persecutes are the prophets the most? Is it Esau? No, it's not Esau. It's our own nation. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets. And I got that definition for great, which is not necessarily a good thing. You see, because great men are not always wise. And we see that a lot of guys, they've lost and they've left wisdom. You see, they've allowed wisdom to leave them. You see, that word great means big, tall, massive. You had Saul, one of the characteristics of Saul, that he was very tall than all the rest. You see, massive, great. You see, so the Lord said that we be a small sanctuary, not a great and huge sanctuary. And this is where guys have really transgressed, where they put their camp and what they've set up, they put that above the word, man. Which the scriptures can't be broken. A lot of guys want to break the laws and break the scriptures and break the spirit, but you can't. And break the bones of the elect, but you can't. You see, and they want to establish their own righteousness, man, which is nothing at all. No man can lay any other foundation than what Yahushua has laid. So the only thing you can build on is what Yahushua. And a lot of guys are not building on Yahushua. They're building on their camps, on their titles, on carnal men that have carnal minds, that aren't in the spirit anymore, man. If they was once in the spirit, guess what? They're not anymore. You see, a lot of elders have been compromised. A lot of camps are just distracting you and fighting against each other, right? Quarreling. But meanwhile, they're just leaving Yahushua out. You see, they don't have the counsel of the Lord. They just have all these counsels of men. That counsel of men is going to come to nothing. That's what we see happening. And what we're doing here when we do these videos and we bring out what's going on in the world, see, and it's heavy too, bros, because see, like those newscasters that was like, they was telling you what's going on, but see, they're neutral. They're up in that seat, that high seat, looking all good, all pampered. Everyone's doing their makeup, making sure they look good for the camera, right? And they're neutral. They're just bringing out what's going on. Just what's on the teleprompter, what they can just say. They're not saying anything more or anything less. That's all they're doing. But they're neutral. They don't pick a side. They're in the middle. And that's what a lot of you false apostles, false prophets are doing. You're just neutral, bringing out all this news. But when we bring out something that's going on in the world, guess what we do? We break it down. We dissect it. We get into it when we bring out the word, man, how it correlates, how it all ties in to what's going on, even in this truth. You see, because everything mirrors each other, man. Everything, the whole world is a living organism, you see. So if something's happening in one part of the earth, then it's going to affect the whole world. Doesn't matter how small or minute it may be, you see. That's why you can't take for granted or look past what it is that me and a few other brothers is doing and what we're bringing out. You see, because I'm about to bring it out how it's very, very severe and important what we're bringing out. Now, let me bring out this word dissect, because what we're doing is we're dissecting everything. All right, we're dissecting the wicked. All right, and that's why we're hated so much. So that word dissect, it says methodically cut up. And what does the word do? It severes, it cuts. You see, it says cut up a body, part, or plant in order to study its internal parts. See, so we're studying the internal parts, which is what? The mind, the spirit of men. We're trying the spirits by the spirit, whether you are of the Most High or not. And come to find out, a lot of guys are servants of men. They're servants of sin and not servants of Yahushua and of life. All right, that word dissect, it says analyze something in minute detail. Analyze, examine, study. Well, it says study to show yourself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. A lot of guys are ashamed of the Lord and the gospel because why? They're not studying to show themselves approved. That's why they're disapproved and they're ashamed of the Lord and the gospel. You see? So it says examine, study, inspect, explore, investigate, sift. And that's what the Lord said. He would sift Israel from amongst all nations, the elect. So that's the only one. That's the only ones that the Lord is choosing out, the choice part. Those that are full of the meat of Yahushua. Also means to break down, take apart, deconstruct. And this is what Yahushua meant when he said, I will destroy this temple and the third day I will raise it up again. Meaning that he was to destroy all the comfortability and everyone just there just because, you know, yeah, I'm a Jew too. But really dissecting and taking apart all the pieces and seeing which pieces should really stay and what pieces shouldn't, you see? Because in a great man's house, there's not just vessels unto honor, but also to dishonor, you see? But what these false guys, these false prophets in all these camps, what they do is they just tell you the sweet things. Oh, you're in my camp? Yeah, well, you're the gold. You know, they're selling you a dream, man. They're advertisers. Subscribe now and you can get, you know what I'm saying? It's bullshit, man. Guys are fucking tacky, bro. Sirach 11:7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. So as we're dissecting, right, examining, we're taking apart all the great big things and pieces, and we're like when you go to the book of Susanna, right, what's the main thing you realize in that story, in that time of judgment? What Daniel had to do, he had to separate, he had to dissect and divide those two wicked elders to get the truth out. Because while they were still together, they was always looking at each other, whispering in each other's ear, oh, say this, oh, say that. But when you divide, you conquer, and the truth comes out. The truth can't be hidden. You can't play no games and nothing like that. You feel me? It says, understand first and then rebuke. And now the rebuke of the Lord is coming out, because the men who the Lord has chosen and set up in the spirit, we have an understanding spirit. We've examined. We didn't blame. Now we're blameless because we did everything in order. You see, this just didn't happen overnight, man. This has been growing and rising to this time and to this level of wickedness in our nation and amongst this truth. Joel 3:13 says, "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe." Right, the end of the world is time. You know, it's very right, meaning it's ready to be taken. It's right. This kingdom is ready to be taken by the Lord. It says, "Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great." Like you had that cereal. I remember when I was young, but it was Frosted Flakes, and they said they're great. You see, but it was just them selling you something. But really, when you go into it, you know, all that sugar is really not good for you. You see, it's really not that good for you, though. You see, but they're just saying that so that you can buy it, you can eat it. You see, Revelation 3:19, "As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous therefore and repent." And just like Yahushai, it was written that his father's house, the zeal of his father's house has eaten him up. So this has entirely consumed us, man, this work. You know, like the church of Achaia, they were addicted to this ministry, man, being the first fruits, you see? And you were to follow their example. So the Lord, he shows his love through his rebukes, man. You know, and it's not going to feel good all the time, but guess what? You have to receive that correction, man, and receive that healing, and receive that admonishment, you see? Because it'll be health to thy navel. But if you don't, you're gonna be killed by the Lord, man. That word. Now I got the definition for key, because what we're bringing out, this part of this truth that we're bringing out is very key. Is like, this is what opens the door. This is what allows Yahushua, the word, to come into the engrafted word, which is to save your soul. Now, that word key, right? See, guys, they put all these, oh, I know the mark of the beast and the nuclear missiles and the scripture to the arrows. Like, they put all that, but see, they don't have the key, though, which is what? The spirit, charity, love. You know, they omit that. They do away with that, you see? So they don't really have the key to this, the key to really get in with the Lord, you see? So it says a key, right? It's obviously, you know, a small, right? Not a great, not a huge, a small, you know? A small piece of metal, right? Used to close or lock doors, right? Or open doors. Now check this out, right? Key is of a paramount or crucial importance, central, essential, fundamental, decisive, critical, principal, prime, chief, main, leading, major, important, significant. So this is the key, man. This is the key. And the Lord said he's going to give the key, the keys, right, to his elect. All right. That's what the Lord said. Luke 11:52. Woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. So what they've done, they've taken this away from you, man. So you're not able to enter in. You're not able to get in. You know, you're not able to get in the spirit, you see. It says they entered not in yourselves, and them that were entering in, yea, hindered. Whew. You see, they hindered, man. As he said these things unto them, the scribes and the Pharisees began to urge him vehemently and to provoke him to speak of many things. Basically wanted to get his oil, and you know what I'm saying? It says, laying wait for him and seeking to catch something out of his mouth that they might accuse him. And the same thing they do with us, you know? But there's no guile in our mouth, man. And everything that we're bringing out, we back it up with the scriptures, man, because it's in the word. But guys, they're really against the word, man. If they could, they'd rip out Luke 11. They'd rip out Matthew 23. They'd fucking erase, you know, if this was written in pencil, they'd erase number 16. You see, that's why the Lord's going to erase a lot of you guys in this truth, man. All these camps included. You know, we're not going to respect your multitudes, man, because the fear of the Most High is not in a lot of you guys, man. You see? All right, this is Isaiah 22 and 22. And the key of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulder, so he shall open and none shall shut. He shall shut and none shall open. So, you know, what we're doing, you know, what we're basically doing, we're those gatekeepers. The Lord said, blessed those that watch continually at his gates. And the Lord is basically giving us the job to close this thing out. Like the brothers be saying, you know, when you're at the end of the game, right, and it's a close battle, what do? What does the coach do? He sends in the closer. You know, his arm's not weak, it's not sore. You know, it's fresh. You know, that's what we got, man. And you strike them all out, you get them out. But a lot of guys, see, you're a closer, but you come into the game and you're just throwing fucking lobs. You know, you're not even getting no effort, and then the other team just knocking shit out the park. You know what I'm saying? This is a blowout, man. They lose the game. You see? That's what would happen if it was up to a lot of you guys, man. You know, none would be saved. You see? Because you're not closing up the breaches of David. Rather, you're making more breaches. You're making more grievous wounds in our nation. It says Matthew 25:10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch ye therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour when the Son of Man cometh. So you have to be watching, man, and watching out for the wolves. He told him, beware of men. Because what's man going to do? Man's going to deliver you to the councils, man, to the magistrates, to the judges, try to judge you carnally. All right. Now the word key, right? It also means to fasten something in position. So we're fastened in this truth with the Lord. You know, we're unmovable upon this rock, upon this word, and this truth. You know, we're not going to the fucking forest and the playgrounds and the children's sand castle. You know what I'm saying? Sand boxes. Not doing none of that. All right. And that word key, I got another couple definitions because it's really heavy. That word key, right, is right here. It is right here. All right, here's another definition for key because it's really heavy, man. This word key. All right, it says a thing. And see, if you're not deep in the spirit, the only definition of key you're gonna understand is, oh, a key that you open a door. Yeah, I get it. No, it's you gotta get into it. You know what I'm saying? So that word key, right? A thing that provides a means of gaining access to or understanding something. See, so you're gonna have the answer, so the solution, the explanation, the guide. You see, you're gonna have the translation, the legend. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the translation of all these parables. Okay. It also means the tone or pitch of someone's voice. So you're to know the tone of the men of the Lord's voice. Now we're not going to always be screaming or raising up our voice highly, but it's going to be a certain pitch. You know what I'm saying? But that was the main point with that definition. Yeah, it also says of a paramount or crucial importance. You see, key. And that's what these wicked Pharisees did back then. They're doing the same thing now. They took away the key of knowledge. Revelation 3 and verse 7, and to the angel of the church of Philadelphia, right? In the Philadelphia, that this church meant what it meant was brotherly love. These are the ones. This is the church that fulfilled the law of the Lord. You see, this is the church of the Lord, man. Philadelphia. See, so in the last days, you want to be a part of the church of Philadelphia. That's the one that's going to be the church of the Lord. You see, it says these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. You see, so man can't shut this door. It's a spiritual door. Only the Lord's can do the shutting. Like the Lord said in Matthew 25, the door was shut. Who shut it? The Lord did. Who shut Noah in Genesis? The Lord did. It says, for thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Behold, I'll make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I'll make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. You see? And that's what's going to happen, because the wicked, let me get this real quick, the wicked bow down to the righteous. And a lot of you guys, right, the 2/3 in this truth, the Pharisees, the false prophets and all that, what's going to happen is you're going to be our children in the kingdom. You see? And you got to reverence your fathers. Yeah, it is right here. So you can't just use this as one form of the wicked being Esau. It's also going into our people. You see? Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. Who they going to bow to? Yahweh Shai. You see? Proverbs 14:19. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. Says the poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. So if you're poor and you have the kingdom of heaven, because the Lord said, bless ye poor, for yours is the kingdom, right? You're going to be hated even of your neighbor. But if you're rich and you have all the fame and you have a whole lot of substance, and you have the thousands, and you're great and this, that, and the third, we're great this, great that, you have many friends. You see? But if you're of the Lord, you ain't going to have friends. See, and there's a quote, he that speaks truth doesn't have any friends. See, what we have is family. We don't have friends. That's why the Lord said, who's my brother, who's my father and mother? Those that do the will of my heavenly Father. You see, that's who the Lord came to get. It's a family reunion. You see? It's a lineage. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said he calls you more than servants, because you're his friends. Even so, more than friends, we're family, man. We're one flesh. And this is the mystery of Yahweh Shai and the church. Here's a quote right here. All right, it says, a speaker of truth has no friends. And it's an African proverb, because that basically what this proverb is going, in this quote is going into, is that it's a very lonely walk when you really about the truth. You're not gonna have a lot of people around you at all times. You see, Titus 1:16. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. So the way they deny the Lord is in their works. They don't work the work of the Lord. They do it deceitfully, and they do it how they want to do it. You see, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. You see, so here it is. We're doing a great work. We're doing a good work, but they're reprobate. The Lord denied them. That's why they're not doing the work. They're not doing the work of the Lord. And what's the work of the Lord? That you believe on whom he sent. All right. Leviticus 10:1 says, and Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, See, so it doesn't matter who your father is or if you're an Israelite. What matters is if you're right, you see, because like it says in Ezekiel, you're not going to be judged because your father's being wicked. Neither will the son be judged because his father's wicked, or the son be judged because you know what I'm saying? You're going to be judged because of your own sins, you see? It says, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not, you see? And that's what a lot of guys are doing. They're doing things that the Lord didn't command them to do. Strange fire. One day they're in the truth, the next day they're not in the truth. And that's a strange fire. They're covered in strange apparel. They take a covering, but not of the Lord, not of his spirit, like it says in Isaiah, that they may add sin to sin, you see. Leviticus 6:13, the fire shall ever be burned upon the altar, it shall never go out. So the true fire of the Lord and the men of the Lord that are, the Lord says he makes his ministers a fire, right? We're never going to go out, you see. We're not going to go out. We're always going to shine our light to glorify our Father in heaven, whether it's through the sweet things or through the bitter things, through persecution or through good times. You see, a lot of guys they'll basically like they're just actors, man. You know, they're just actors, man. On the camera screen, oh yeah, I'm in the truth, but when it comes off, they're in the world, man. That's that strange fire. You see. Psalms 144:7. Send thine hand from above, rid me, deliver me out of great waters. Whew. From the hand of strange children. 11. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouths speak vanity. You see, their mouth speaks of nothing, man, of vain things that are empty and void. It says, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. You see? And let's get that word for strange right here in Psalms. That word strange is nakar, right? Which means heathendom. So it's heathenistic, right? Let me see that word for strange in the Google. All right, that word strange is here's right here. All right, strange. It says unfamiliar. So the Lord not familiar with a lot of guys. Unknown. In the book of Acts, they had a God they worshiped, which was an unknown God. They didn't know who their Lord was. They didn't know who God was. And that's how a lot of our people are. Like, you had this Jake come to our camp the other day, and he was like, yeah, the 12 tribes of Africa. And I was like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, they serve an unknown God, you know what I'm saying? They don't know the Lord, and the Lord don't know them, you see? And this is how a lot of guys are in this truth. They don't have a relationship with Yahushua, and that's why we don't know a lot of guys, man, because a book is being written for those that fear the Lord and spoke off one to another. We don't speak to a lot of guys. I don't speak to a lot of dudes, man, because a lot of dudes ain't right. We're in the times of Noah, man. To hell with what guys are saying to you, man. Well, we're in these times. We're in this time. No, we're in the times of days of Noah, man. And how much people were saved in the time of Noah? You do the math, man. And the Lord doesn't change. One man amongst 1,000. You see? Luke 9:46. Then there arose. I'm sorry, verse 43. Whew. It says, Luke 9:43. And they were all amazed at the mighty power of God. But while they wondered everyone at all things which Yahushua did, he said unto his disciples, let these sayings sink down into your ears. For the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men. Whew. I mean, you better listen when I'm telling you. You see? It says, but they understood not this saying. So you see what the Lord has to do? He has to give you the key to open up to understand what he's saying in these parables. It said, but they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them. See, and what the Lord is saying in Revelation, he says that he may give you the hidden manna, you see, which is him. It says, and it was hid from them that they perceived it not, and they feared to ask him of that saying. Whew. Then there arose a reasoning among them, which of them should be greatest. And Yahushua, perceiving the thought of their heart, took a child and set him by him, and said unto them, whosoever shall receive this child in my name receiveth me, and whosoever shall receive me receiveth him that sent me. For he that is least among you all, the same shall be great. So it's all about, and what the Lord say? He said, set those that are least in the church to judge. So that's what the Lord is doing, man. The Lord, he's setting up the least in the church and amongst his truth to judge our nation, man, and tell them what's right from wrong, what's good from bad. You see, life from death. You see, and you're gonna and God's gonna choose what they want. You see. 1 Corinthians 6:4. For if then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, see, according to the flesh, what's going on, you see, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. You see, because they're gonna have the wisdom, they're gonna be lowly. You see, and that's where wisdom is found. Wisdom is with the lowly, man. See, when you go to Wisdom of Solomon 10:10, it talks about how wisdom stayed down with Israel, basically, when his father persecuted him. You know, wisdom went in with him in the chains and in slavery. It stood with our people. It didn't go with the proud and the oppressors. You see, and the famous. You see, it stood by the true men of the Lord. Jeremiah 6:13. For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them everyone is given to covetousness, and from the prophet even unto the priest everyone dealeth falsely. You see, so guys, they're dealing right. Their right hand is a hand of falsehood. These are the strange children we have to be delivered from, and it's not just Esau, bro. The guys be like Esau. Like, is that your God? The sad thing about it is, yeah, that's a lot of our people's king. That's Caesar. You see? And when you go to Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course, because a lot of wicked men, they're trying to take away the breath from the word, you see, the spirit from the word, and just teach it in the flesh. It says, and be glorified even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. For all men have not faith, but the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. You see? So that's who we're being delivered from, man. These wicked, unfaithful, unmerciful men. Strange children that are burning a strange fire. And they're gonna get themselves and a lot of people condemned and killed. Because what do they say about fire? Don't play with fire. Fire can get you right, it can get you killed, man. Luke 22 and verse 24. And it's heavy too, because one of the most deadliest forms like fire is the one you don't see or realize. I think it's called carbon monoxide. But if you have enough of it, you can pass out and the fire can start and you can die, man. You see? Luke 22:24. And the part of this chapter is who is greatest. And the Lord is breaking down who's the greatest. It's not the ones that's high in the high seats. It's the one that's in the low seats. You know, it's the children. Whenever you was in the world or you was growing up, like, you'd have adults on one table and then you have the children on this little table, you see? And the adults would get served first. It wasn't the adults serving the children, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's the true structure, that's the true order. You know, the men, the women go first and then the children. But this world, they put the children first. You know, children are the oppressors, women rule over them. They fucking put a dog before, you know what I'm saying? Luke 22:24. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as a younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. So if you're the greatest, you're supposed to be as a younger. You see? Humbling yourself, and he that is chief as he doth serve. So if you're a chief, then you're supposed to be serving the flock, man. Serving the sheep, feeding the sheep. But a lot of these false prophets and false pastors, they're feeding themselves, man. Those who feed with you, they dine with you, having not fear. You see? For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat, but I am among you as he that serveth. So you have to follow the example of Yahushua, not these fucking carnal men that have gone bad, man. You see? And become servants of men and are not as Yahushua. Because the scriptures say the servant be as his master. A lot of guys are not as Yahushua. They're not serving. They're not laying down their life. They're not being a brother. They're not balanced with rebuke and mercy. You see? Mark 9:33. Saki, Mark 9:34. But they held their peace, for by the way that they had disputed among themselves who should be greatest. And he sat down and called the 12 and saith unto them, if any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. You see that? So if you want to be the first, I'm the this, I'm the that, I'm the head, I'm the camp lead, I'm the biggest elder, I'm the this, I'm the biggest, baddest, greatest this, you know what I'm saying? Then guess what? You have to be the last of all and servant of all. You see? But a lot of guys, they don't want to take heed to sound doctrine, and don't want to take heed to the Lord's example. And there's going to be a very, very severe judgment for that. Sirach 3:18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. So the reason why a lot of men are not going to find the favor before the Lord, because why? The greater they get, the more proud they get, the more arrogant they get. It says, many are in high place, many on the broad gate. Many shall follow their pernicious ways. Many shall come in sheep's clothing, deceive many. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. You see, and we're pouring out these exquisite parables, man. But it's only for those that have ears and eyes and that are humble. Because if you're proud, you're not gonna stand us, man. You're like, man, shut up. Just like the elder brother did that video on the Judas Iscariot. After he got the bag and sold Yahushua out. He was being tormented, man, by all the babes, by all the little children. He was like, get away from me, shut up. You see, that's how a lot of guys act with us. You see, and that's why they might say, oh, like you have this the sleeping dead 666 guy. He was like, oh, you guys are bitching. See, that's how they feel. Oh, stop bitching. See, you're calling the Holy Spirit and the prophets of the Lord crying out. You calling that a bitching spirit? You see? And there's a big judgment for that. Every idle word shall be accounted for. Job 22 and verse 5. Is not thy wickedness great and thine iniquities infinite? For thou hast taken a pledge from thy brother for naught, and stripped the naked of their clothing. And what's the clothing? The spirit. The word, Yahushai. Guys have stripped that. And woe unto you guys that give your neighbor a drink, that you may look upon their nakedness. Just like fucking them two elders in the book of Susanna. It says, thou hast not given water to the weary to drink, and thou hast withholden bread from the hungry. Whew. See, they've withholden the bread of life, man. You see? Thinking the Lord's like them, but the Lord ain't like you guys, man. He's against you guys. 1 Samuel 12 and 17. Is it not? Let me start verse 16. It says, 15. 1 Samuel 12 and 15. But if ye will not obey the voice of Yahweh, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, as it was against your fathers. Now therefore stand to see this great thing. Whoo! Amen. Listen up, GMS, Sakari, all you guys, man. See, only the few is going to be take heed and realize what's being said. The voice of Yahweh is being spoken through his men that have the spirit of Yahushua, which is a testimony. So now therefore stand and see this great thing which the Lord will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call unto the Lord, and he shall send thunder and rain. And I don't know if you guys been noticing, man, but especially around me, the northeast, there's been a lot of rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, man. I love it. It says that ye may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which ye have done in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, in asking you a king. You see, so a lot of people are going off from the jump, man. They want a carnal king when they already had Yahushua in the spirit. Yahushua was always there, man, in the midst, but only amongst the 2 or 3. But the multitudes, the many, Yahushua was in the midst of the many. And that's why they was like, give us a king, give us a king. And the Lord's like, listen, you just give them what they want. They didn't deny you, Samuel. They denied me from being their king and reigning over me. We're in the time now, the Lord said, if you don't want the Lord to reign over you, bring them hither and slay them before him. That's what's happening. The word is slaying the wicked, man. So Rock 19:24, and I'm going to get out of here. He that hath small understanding and fear of God is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. And a lot of guys, they're transgressors, man. See, they have much wisdom, they have much knowledge. They know the Vikings, they know all the years of all the dark ages. They know this, they know that. They know all the 12 heads of each dragon. Well, it's heavy too. I'm meditating in my last video, going to China, running, chasing America out of the sea, Pacific Sea. It's lucky, I'm getting excited. But let me go to Isaiah 27, because see, it's not just Esau the dragon, it's also you wicked Israelites that are the dragon, because you're covenant with death. You're another head. You're another head that popped up. You see? It's Isaiah 27:1. In that day, the Lord with his sword and great and strong sword. See? The Lord's greater than the camps. The Lord's greater than the carnal men. It says, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. He shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. So all the dragons and serpents and vipers and generation of snakes that's in the world and in this truth, being cruel, right? The Lord, this word is piercing you, man. And the Lord's going to deliver the elect. All praise, glory, honor, faith, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Baba Ball, destruction, demise, all the anti-Yahushai, Shalom to the elect.